Hello everyone, righto. So today I am going to be trying to paint acrylic daffodils. We'll see how this goes. Whoops, my brush hasn't broken in yet. I've got some new brushes to try. And I'm trying glycerin today as my medium, just to see how that goes. So I'm going to start on with just yellow onto my actual daffodils, and I don't have to worry so much like I do in watercolours about I've got it because I can go over these pencil lines. I'm probably being a bit tentative, and I'm going to be a little bit watercoloury to begin with because I'm such a noob. Might mix a little bit of white with that actually, a little bit of white just to lighten up this. And I'm working quite small just so until I get used to it. Oops, I need a bit more white on there. It's very dark, isn't it? Lighten that right up. Like that. There we go. Just on that side. Alright. Mix up some pale yellow. I've got a glass palette next to me that I've had for ages that I like to use for this sort of thing. You can see the grey lead's sort of popping through a little bit, interestingly. So oh god, that's a giant blob. That's a giant blob. We'll just unblob the blob like that. There we go. Pop a little bit more yellow in that. And go into the edges. Alright. A bit of that pale yellow, a bit of that white. Alright. Oops. A bit darker in here, in this bit. Like that. Okay. Might go a bit of a stronger yellow in there. Oops. Maybe let it dry a little bit and get back into it. So this is actually darker around this bit. So I'll go around the edge, slightly darker. I'll eventually cover up this drawing, and this is just the very base layer at the second. So I'll go over that with stronger pigment on my pencil lines, like that. I'm so used to using pencil for my under drawings, which I don't need to use so much for this. I'm just going to go a bit stronger on this one into the centre. A stronger yellow. I'll make that more of a shadow colour after. I'm just going to block it in for the second. Just block it in like that. This side is very bright light. That's the petals, and they're a paler yellow. Okay, I'm going to go around this edge. I need a finer brush. I don't think I've got a finer one. Oh, I do. Awesome. Okay, I do have a finer one. Nice. So I'm going to go over my pencil lines. I should have erased them. I'm going to actually, while I'm thinking about it, erase a little bit of my pencil lines now. I have them way too strong. I didn't even think about that when I drew them. I thought, oh, I won't, it'll be covered in paint, but it is still too harsh. Even with acrylic, it is still too harsh. So I'm just going to erase those pencil lines a little bit. That's fine. I'm going to come into this one and try and paint over these lines. Just want to dull them down a little. With my really fine brush, doesn't want to, does it? I'll mix up like an orangey colour in a minute. That's really not going to work, is it? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my bigger brush, go around the edges. Right, I'm just going to leave that for a minute, let it dry, stop fiddling with it. Go onto the back of the stem of this daffodil. Whoops, bit gloopy. And I'm using watercolour paper because I'm confident and I'm used to using that. So that's the back of the bell on the flower. And I'm going to mix up that paler colour. And I'm going to go onto these petals. I'm just going to have my testing paper next to me. And I want these petals to be really pale because they're the similar colour to the flower, just a slightly lighter. So I'll just fill that petal in and that petal. You can start to fill them in. Fill this one. There is a petal going off the back there. I'll paint that in a minute. All right. Hello, Candid. How you going, doll? How are you? How are you? I'm trying acrylics today. It's been a while, but I thought I've been itching to try them again, and I thought once World Watercolour Month was over, I'd have a go. How have you been, doll? I saw your video, the drawing every day one. That's really cool. So I'm going to mix up a green, bit of blue, bit of yellow. Make it it's actually quite a rich green. A bit more yellow than that. Bit more yellow than that. There we go. And I'm going to check that on my bit of paper, and that's fine. Get a bit of my stuff. What is it called? My glycerin. And I'm going to take this stem up here, and it bends and comes down there. All right. Okay, I'll leave that alone. Oh, that comes around there a little bit. Clean my brush. All right. Let that one relax a little bit, and I'll come back into that with details after and go on to this one over to the left. So, whoops, that's green. I want yellow. I've got green in my yellow. That's not good. Okay. Clean my brush. Clean my palette off a little bit. Grab my yellow again. Clean my brush a bit better, eh? Alright, there we go. Grab a bit more glycerin. A bit of white. And then come down onto this daffodil. Alright, like that. And then you can just see the back of this one pops up there. Come into here, fill out the middle of the daffodil. It does have a little bit of greeny tinge to it, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Alright. Going with a bit more pure yellow. I can brighten this up later anyway. And I'm going to mix up some oranges as well to put. This is just the base layer. Just getting the base in with some lemon yellow. Alright, I'll leave that alone for a second. Come back into that in a minute. Mix up bits of orange and stuff, and I'm just going to go back into that pale colour on these petals with this pale colour that I've still got from the other daffodil, which is a very pale yellow and a lot more white. Very pale yellow, a lot more white, and a little bit of glycerin. Pop that down and around. Still not pale enough. I'll have to lighten it up, and I'll get a bit of a darker background. There's a bit of a leaf there. Just realised I was 5 minutes behind the real time. Oh wow, okay. I have no idea how that works. Not to worry, Dale, not to worry. How have you been? So you would have just heard my comment about your video. It's fantastic, Dale. You're doing so well. Is that a petal? That's a petal, that's a branch. That's another bit of green. So I'm going to go into my green and I'm going to bring that up there. That's a stem. So pop my stem in. So I'm just blocking everything in at the moment. Had to fast forward. Oh, no worries. That happens. That does happen. All right. And then I'm going to pop this one down here. So I thought I'd just do a simple little floral, try and do a little simple floral. Thank you. I'm doing great. How are you? I'm great. Thank you. I did me jog this morning and I had a lovely kangaroo come and say hello. I popped it on Instagram. I couldn't help myself. But yeah, he was a gorgeous kangaroo. And he actually followed me up the road and I was a bit concerned because they can be aggressive. But he followed me up the road for a bit, was sort of keeping up with me. And then he popped out in front of me and stood there and said hi and kept going. So I filmed him. He was a beautiful roo. But and he went off back up into the paddocks again. But it made it lovely. I love seeing the animals when I'm jogging. By the way, I changed my name from Zargo. Oh, hello, Zargart. Oh, that's good. I like Zargart. Zargart Diana. Nice. Very, very good. Yeah, I changed my name originally. I used to be Jen's Wild About Watercolour, and then I changed it to Jen's Wild About Art just because I like to do everything. And neither is my real name. Oh. Fair enough. Fair enough. Probably lots and lots of people who do that and have not their real names on. Diana is a hunter goddess. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. I learnt something new. All right. So I'm just blocking in at the second. I'm going to go that really pale colour. I'm so used to watercolours where you can re-wet and my paint's drying on my doodah, on my palette. So I've just got to get some more pale, bit more white. Bit more white. Having a name that's the only in the world is not a good idea to flash on YouTube. Oh. There are lots that do it, but it's personal preference, really. It's personal preference. And like Aaron Blaze, you know, his name's Aaron. That's his, yeah. And he's super duper famous. But it's personal preference. I am using, what am I using? I am using golden and, I've forgotten the other one. Golden acrylics, and I forgot what the other ones are called. I've gone completely blank. Gone completely blank. But the golden ones are beautiful. They're really soft and creamy and nice and really good fun to use. So not that I've used them a lot, but I'm going to be using, yeah, golden and blank golden. And what are the other ones called? Oh my God. I can't remember. I can't see them from here to be able to tell you. Because I've got it all set out on my wet palette, Stay Wet palette. It'll come to me. It's a very common acrylic, common cheap acrylic. But I can't remember what they're called. If you said the name, I would know it. It's actually in my blurby thing. No, not Liquitex. Hang on, I'll tell you. I'll get up and have a look. I'll get up and have a look. Oh, my goodness, my bendy legs. I went for a run this morning and oh my goodness. Oh. Matisse. Doing chores, so I can't comment too often. No, that's all right, Dale. That's absolutely fine. It's wonderful to have you here, even if you're just wandering around doing housework, Dale. That's the beauty of these sort of streams. You can pop in and out and do what you got. I do that all the time. I pop in and out, and I think that's only common in Australia. Oh, okay, yeah, it's one of the most easy to get here. An Atelier, yeah, Atelier. And I can't remember what the other one is. There's another one as well. Structure. Maybe it's Matisse. Oh, it is Matisse. An Atelier. There's another one. But I'm going to eventually work my way to having just golden. I really love the golden products. They've got beautiful everything. They make beautiful oils. They make, not that I use oils, but my friends do. Beautiful everything. So I'll eventually change across to golden. How's that leaf go? And that one. So I'm just blocking, just getting things sort of roughly blocked in. Golden is amazing. Golden is beautiful. Golden is gorgeous. I've been having fun with the core watercolors. Oh my goodness, they've been good fun. I got the mini palette the other day, and I've been playing with that. Just doing a little bit here and there. Love them, Zargo. Love them. They are gorgeous and lots of fun to use. Really vibrant and really easy to flow. Really like them, and they mix beautifully. So yeah, I'm wrapped with them. Very happy. So yeah, I've been using my Sinalia. Love the flow. It works with my style. Yep, love it. Love everything about it. They'll be great to take out when I go back to zoos and stuff. I'll love the colours for that too. So I've ordered some more actually. So I've got I got the high chroma set coming now. Because I tried them, loved them. And I'll be doing more with them. So, making a bit of mess on my palette here. Just going to go very faintly over these petals. Is there a petal coming down here? There is. There's one down there. So I'm just going to block that. You can barely even see where I'm blocking that. But the only thing I'm unhappy about with core is the price. It's crazy expensive. Yeah, it's expensive here. Worse than DS. Yeah, it's more expensive than Daniel Smith's here, about $8 or $9 a tube. And mind you, that's a 5mm tube, I think. But the 11mm tube here of core is 19. So I suppose they're about the same, equivalent. They're probably about equivalent. Because if a 5mm and an 11mm tube, one's $8 and one's 19, what's 16? It's about $2 or $3 more. But you get so long out of them, you know, you don't run out. You don't run out. Because they last forever. They are just so highly pigmented that they last absolutely forever. All right, I'm going to block this in a bit more. Right, am I going to do a background? I don't know, I might not. I might just keep these as their simple little flowers today. We'll see how we go. I can start to build up. I'm going to pop some stems down the back there. And the Daniel Smiths, I must admit, I'm not a great fan. I used them. I like his titanium, and I like his indigo. But apart from that, I don't use them. I got a couple of little palettes, and yeah, not the big. I prefer Core. I prefer Atelier. All right, I'm just popping, but ultimately it's personal preference. And Schminky, it's another great one. Another one of my faves. You can buy the small tubes, but you buy them in sets of 5 or 6. I can get the 5mm tubes here. So yeah, you buy a set of Core in 5mm tubes, set of 6. But you can't get them individually that I know of. You can only get the 11mm tubes. But you know, I like them, so I'm not fussed. And you buy them once and I won't have to buy them for 10 years. Because I'll get 10 years out of a tube probably. Alright, I quite like that. I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. I might go in, I'm going to mix an orange now. I'm going to clean my palette a little bit. Clean your palette a little bit. Give that a wipe. So you can't even get them open stock directly from Golden or Core. See, because we're in Australia, it'd be too much anyway with the imports cost and everything. So it's almost, yeah, you don't worry. I just, yeah, wasn't an issue because I knew it probably wasn't going to happen anyway. What did I do with my brush? Oh, there it is. There we go. So yellow and red. I'm going to make a little bit of an orange. Go in cadmium red. I just realised I don't have an orange acrylic, but I don't need one because I can make it yellow and red to make a nice orange. And I'm going to strengthen up the colour on my bells, on my flowers. Alright, I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush because this is quite a small painting. Get a bit more on my brush, a bit more pigment on my brush. And this is coming up here onto this part of the bell of the flower. And then around, oops, almost out of the green and golden teal. Oh wow, okay, gosh. What have you been painting with those colours? I'm just going to strengthen up. I know they're more yellow in the photograph, but I'm sort of going my own way because I can build it up anyway and change it as I go. I'm going to pop the dark a bit onto that. Just there, and I'll blend that down a little bit. All right. Go back in with my yellow. All right, let's have a look. So actually that's more of a darker. I'm just trying to think of how I've gave half a pan to my niece of the green gold. Oh well, there you go, that'll do it. Oh, that was a leaf. That wasn't supposed to be. Oh, I'm a twit. Okay, that's all right. I'm just going to go back over. Beauty of acrylic, you can go over it again when you've accidentally painted in a leaf what you shouldn't have painted. Oops. I'm going to block back that leaf back out again. Whoops. Doesn't matter. Green gold's your go-to yellow. Cool. Just block that leaf back out. And it's brighter white there. I probably do need a slight background. I might pop a light blue background. Not sure. Not sure. What's on it go? If I go, oh, I could do. they do need some contrast behind them. I might go a darker green even. Where's my colour chart? Might go a bit of hookers green. Bit of hookers in behind. Let's have a look. Make it a bit darker. Try that. Cut into here. We'll just darken up some of this background. I'm just fiddling. I haven't really got a set game plan for this. I'm just testing out and trying and seeing what happens. Because I'm a watercolour artist, not really much of a... I do acrylics, and I'm very new to floral. So I'm very much experimenting here and just seeing what I like. Good news is the watercolour paper's holding up really well. So that makes me happy. So I do like using my watercolour paper, and if it's a water medium, I figured I can use it for acrylic. I think you'd have to use a heavy one. You couldn't get away with a light one, I don't reckon, but I've got me 300 gram that I'm using at the moment. It is a great green mix got made. Yes. I might have to model it up a bit. It's a bit strong and a bit dark, but I'll mix it up and I'll add layers as I go. Just got to be patient. I've just got to be patient. Keep on keeping on. So what else have you been up to, Zargo? What else you been doing, Dale? I was just saying to Candid, I went for my jog this morning and had a kangaroo hang around with me. So I got a little bit of video footage I stuck on Instagram, just about 2 seconds worth. This little kangaroo, he'd followed me down the road, and I thought, oh, you grumpy or are you a happy kangaroo? And he was a happy kangaroo, so that was fun. But yeah, he followed me down the road for a bit. And so I took a little video footage of him standing there looking at me. So I've started jogging again, and I haven't jogged for a long time. Because my hips usually pack up. But I thought I've got to do something. So now I'm finally done with changing floors in the house. So now we've got to move everything back where it belongs. Oh, cool. Exciting. Very exciting. Scary? No. Not scary. Mind you, I'd already picked a tree to hide behind if he decided to attack. I'd already figured out that I could run behind the tree to my right and I'd be fine. All good. I'm just scrubbing in this dark colour for now. And I can always change it. I'm not going to go a solid all the way around it. I'm just going to cut in around. We'll see how we go. I had a huge deer buck staring me down on top of a cliff once. Ooh, there was only one safe way down and that was blocking. Oops. That's not good. Yeah, we don't have deer, thank God. Because I've heard huge buck deer can be quite aggressive. Our neighbours used to breed deer. And yeah, certain times of year, you didn't go near them. They were quite aggressive. But beautiful, magnificent things. Okay, so I'm just blocking in. Blocking. And I'm using my Hooker's Green. And I'm trying out glycerin, which was recommended by Grayscale Painting, who's an awesome acrylic artist. I was inspired to try glycerin as my medium for this, which you can get pretty much at any chemist. And it feels good actually. It does help, the medium, it spreads it good. It seems to be working okay for now, better than water. I like it better than water. We agreed that I'd step sideways slowly and didn't ram me. Wow, yeah, that's scary. That would have been a tough moment. And I'm going to mix other greens into that because it's just too one colour-y. So we'll darken that up. Just work my way in. I'm using it's quite a small painting because I haven't done acrylics in quite a while. I was a bit nervous about doing it, so I thought I'd work on a smaller scale because I'm more confident with smaller pieces. So I thought for me first one back after a few months at least, I'd go in with a smaller picture. So this is only, I don't even know what size this is, probably A5 or maybe a fraction bigger than an A5. Measured, I should have got my tape measure here. I'll tell you how big it is. This is 8 inches by 6 inches, so it's really quite small. Have seen him use it a lot. Yeah, actually, it spreads beautifully. It does. It is better. Like it's better than water. So they had it at our supermarket, so I grabbed some. But yeah, it spreads nicely. And it's a whole lot cheaper than flow medium. A whole lot cheaper. Well, you're also not out a lot if you don't like it at the end. Small pieces is good. Exactly. I must admit though, I am very sparse with my paint. I don't use a whole lot of paint. Like I don't use a ton. Like even I've got a stay wet palette, so I put a blob on. I'll show you my palette. I can pop it up under my camera. So this is my stay wet palette. So I've got all my colours on there, and that'll keep wet in that palette acrylic for about 6 weeks. So I'll get 6 weeks out of those blobs, pretty much, and I'll probably end up with some that I'll have to wash off, because I won't use all the colours, probably. But I've got a mixture of naturals and brights because I want to start doing more florals and things. Is that a Magello one? Oh, I can tell you in a second. I'll have a look at the front of it. It is. It is the Magello one, and it is wonderful. I've had it for a couple of years now, and I've used it. I actually, some of my acrylics re-wet after like 6 months. Like because I put a damp cloth in with them. I put a bit of sponge in, and it's airtight sealed, and the sponge keeps the moisture in there, so they don't completely dry out. Like I wouldn't recommend it to leave it in there that long, but I did, and I just out of fun thought, oh, I'm just going to see if any of these work still. And a couple of them did. And then I took it and scrubbed it and cleaned it. But yeah, the Magello airtight containers, wonderful. The stay wet palettes, brilliant. Got the smaller one, watercolor. Yeah, I'd get another one. I would get another one for my gouache. I just use standard palettes for my watercolors. But I would get one for my gouache. I'm just going to go around there. Is there a petal there? There's not. So I'll just come around here like that. Yeah, I haven't seen the smaller one. My art shop actually had this one. And they had it in stock, so I just grabbed it. But they didn't have, I haven't seen the smaller one. I'd have to have a look. All right. I'll grab a bit of green, bit of my doodah, my stuff, what's it called? My glycerin, bit of yellow. No, I don't want a bit of yellow, I want a bit of green. What am I doing? That one. I want that. Oops, a bit more glycerin. Yeah, the glycerin really does help it flow nice. Like it's much nicer than the water. The water dilutes it down. This doesn't seem to fit, doesn't feel like it dilutes it. Hello, Shane. How you going, doll? What you up to? How have you been? Just going to cut round these edges. Go around there. Blocking it in. How you going, Shane? And how's your mum? And how's everyone? And how's work? Been fine. It's been a while. It has. It has. What have you been up to? What have you been up to? Busy at work, I'm guessing. So I don't know whether to fill out the whole background. I probably should, shouldn't I? Don't know. Undecided on whether I fill out the whole background or not. I quite like it being a little vignette. I'll add some other greens in there after. I might take it down a bit though. Take it down lower, just a bit. Mum is fine. We went out for lunch yesterday. Check my Instagram for the photo. Cool, will do. What's going on there? Why does that colour do that weird thing? Anyway, I did weirdness. Changed on the paper. Don't know why, but anyway. All right. Well, it might just be because it's dried. Dries slightly different. All right. I will work it down a bit more. Oops, get a bit of that glycerin. I keep wanting to call it gelatin. It's glycerin, not gelatin. Glycerin. I keep wanting to call it gelatin. Don't know where, I'm undecided whether I want to fill out the page. Maybe I will fill out the page, you know. I might grab a bigger brush and fill out the page. Why not? Let's do that. Where's my square brush? We're going rogue, peeps. Grabbing my green. We'll just fill in the page. I wasn't gonna, but I am. Now I'm gonna, because I've changed my mind. And I can pop in more, I don't usually use a square brush, but a flat brush, but I've got a couple, so I thought, oh, I'll try them out as well. Let's do that. Let's test all the things that we're not used to testing. Let's do it. Let's go rogue. So I'm doing all the things that I don't usually do. And I know I don't have to leave the white, like you can paint over the top of this, so I don't have to go cut round things. I can go over it again if I want to. Because I do want to get rid of some of these brush marks. All right. Keep persevere. You go through ugly before you get good. I've got to get good. I'm just going to fill in all that. Work my way around the edges. Looks ugly, but I'll go over it now with another layer. Wash that. Grab a slightly bigger brush. Whoops, and my dogs are going off. Alright. That'll dry a little bit anyway. Grab a bit more. Bit of glycerin. I'm not sure what the technique is to make it all smooth, but I'll just work on it. Oops, that would be the garbo. Excuse my dog, the garbage men have just arrived. They're picking up the rubbish out the front. And the dogs go berserk whenever the garbos do that. So I'm just going to work over this background again. And just strengthen it a little bit because it's a little bit wishy-washy looking. And I'm keeping it to natural sort of colours. Oops. Like greens and yellows, and I'm happy with that bottom bit now. Just work my way around, it'll get better. Promise. Promise. It'll get better. Maybe should have just left it. But what do? You live and learn, don't you? But we'll see. It might work out in the end. I'm hopeful. You just got to keep working at things sometimes. And that's the beauty of doing things live. You're going on the journey with me, peeps. Might take a while. You're coming with me. That's the beauty of live streaming. Shows you the whole process. There's no shortcuts. That's for sure. It's fun when you watch tutorials and it all looks so simple and easy and fast. And it's not. It takes time. Time lapses are great, but they don't really show how it is artistically. They don't show some of the ugly spots of the painting. Last time I painted acrylics on paper, the whole thing felt like leather when it was dried. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I've just never liked the feel of canvas. It's, you know, I'm just so used to watercolour paper. And yeah, a canvas and I have never been friends. I want to try different meat. I want to try wood. I want to try stones. I want to try everything, because acrylics you can do on just about everything. So I do want to give it a go on other surfaces for fun, because I can. Bear, my puppy, being noisy. Let him out, but then he just wants to come back in again within 2 minutes. This is my Jack Russell feral. How's that leaf go? It comes around a bit more. Getting better with canvas, but I didn't use it to like it either. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I used to use it, and I actually got given a roll of really nice quality canvas, but then I'd have to stretch it all myself. And I still got it sitting out in the shed, but I'm like, ugh, I can't be bothered with all the stretching and the gessoing and the... I was actually talking to a friend yesterday who... I've got to be a bit careful though, because I don't want to wear through the paper. It is watercolour paper after all, but once it dries, the acrylic will actually create a bit of a protective layer anyway, I think. Yeah, I was talking to a friend yesterday who's an amazing artist, and he did all his own canvases from scratch, stretched it, gessoed it, made his own gesso, made his own glue, and it's like, oh my word, that's amazing. I learnt how to do that stuff, but I never ever did it. Not the making my own glues and things for the canvas, but I learnt how, but never ever did it. That's looking a bit better actually. fill this in. Yeah, so I've got a roll that'll never get used sitting in my shed. I could probably sell it, but you never know. It might come in handy one day. Wish I had the tree working skills to build the stretch frames. Oh, God. Yeah, when you break it down like the old school guys that used to do it, you know, 100 years ago, used to do it all, like everything, from mixing their own pigments to making their own frames to stretching their own canvases to making the gesso to making the glue. You know, 100 years ago, or more than 100 years ago probably now, you know, they had all the skills that are, you know, they're lost. Saw someone here paint on raw linen. Well, I suppose you could with acrylic. Oil would probably, because acrylic you can use as a canvas. Like I know a lot of people who use acrylic before they'll go on with their oils. They use it as like a sealer almost. Oh, the wind's just picked up. But I don't know how you could go with oils because it'd just suck it up. I actually, now that you've said that, I do know people who have done it, but need to be very determined in your strokes to do it though. Oh yeah, okay. The weather's just starting to turn here. I hear the house started to rattle. Actually, I'm just going to let my dog out. I'll be back in 2 seconds. It is better, much showing up the light in the background's much better. Out you go then. You want to go out? No? You want to go out, but you want to come in. I go to the door and he runs away from the door. I got to the door and he's like, no, I want to go the other way. I don't want to go out. I just wanted to make sure you still got up when I asked you to. That's what he said. My bossy little dog. Excuse my waddly walk. I went for a run this morning and I'm stiff as I didn't cool down properly. Note to people, cool down after you exercise. I went and had a coffee with my kids and I shouldn't have done that because I sat down. I should have done some cooling down exercises and I didn't. So now I've got lactic acid and it's like, ow, I can't walk. All right. What's the matter, Bear? You sookie lala? He wants to jump up on my lap now. All right, I'll pick you up. Give me a second. Come and say hello to everyone. Oh, there he is. There's the baba. You happy now? You having cuddles? Yes, Baba? He's a sook. He's my baby. He was so excited because the other two dogs are out the front of the house and I've locked them out because they do Tassie Devils and roll around on my feet and make all kinds of terrible noises that terrify everybody. The Zargos heard them. They sound awful when they play. They sound like Tassie Devils. But they grumble and mumble and carry on. And so I keep the other two out. And Bear's like, oh, yay, I get to stay with Mum. I don't get banished to the other rooms. All right, now I'm going to go over these stems. They sound like they mean it. They do. They do. That's why I just don't let them up here now because people worry that they're fighting and they're not fighting. They're just playful, very, very playful and very, very loud about it. So I'm just going to go back. Onto my daffodils. I'm going to take these stems to the bottom now. I didn't do that before, but I will now. Or maybe I won't. I quite like it. Not unfinished look, but sort of floating look. All right. And I've got to work on this leaf here, so I'm actually going to go back into this leaf with a bit of white around that edge. Not so much moisture on it. Come around here. I am so used to watercolours. This is a whole different ball game. Because watercolours, you can be much looser, much more free, sort of, got to add a leaf there, a petal there, not a leaf. You can be much more suggestive with your work. I mean, you can do it with acrylic too, but I haven't done enough of it to know how to yet. I do like that I can go light over dark. That's nice. And if I keep at it, I'll get there eventually. Just trying to get the lights back because I've made it look heavy and dark now. So I'm going to add highlights onto some of these branchy bits. Oh, we'll just rework these around a bit. Cut that down there. I'll add greens over the top. I'm just going to take these stems that were up there, like that, we'll continue one up there. Bring them down. That one comes off that one. Just add a few little stems for symmetry. And leafy bits. I like the light over dark too, but I got no stay wet palette, so I'm bothered by the loss of paint leftovers. Yes. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm loving gouache. Gouache is great fun, Zargo. I got back into gouache just recently and I'm really loving it. Really loving it. Okay, so now I'm going to start to build up these daffodils. I can get back into them again now. Try and get some more detail happening. Start to build up the layers and the shadowy bits. Clean my brush. They still look a bit sort of, I don't know, a bit wishy-washy. Let's have a look. How am I going to do this? I'm going to make up, I'm going to go make up some more orangey colour. Going to get some more orangey colour, so a bit of red, bit of yellow, bit of red, bit of yellow. And the glycerin seems to keep the paint re-wettable for a little while, because that orange should have been dry and it wasn't. So I'm guessing that that's the glycerin really helping it to stay wet, which I'm rather impressed about, I have to say. So I'm just going to cut around the outside of this daffodil with my orange. Back into my glycerin. Cut around that edge. Come into there. Take that down like that. Into that part. That side of the daffodil is quite bright. So I'll go in there with the pure yellow. Glycerin is water soluble, so that makes sense. Okay, I don't know any of the things. I'm learning. Well, they use it for baking. I know they use it in cakes. But that's all I can tell you about it. Just going to slightly yellow up this petal. Get some more white on there. But yeah, the glycerin is keeping it moist, which is really nice. Just make the paint reactivate for a bit. Yeah, it's actually making the glycerin far more workable, the acrylic far more workable. So I'm really, makes it much nicer for me as a watercolorist. It makes it much nicer to use, I've got to say. I know what I'll be using from now on. I'll be using the glycerin. And I'll show you the one I got. I got Queen Finest Quality Glycerin. and it's vegan and all of those things. It's all those wonderful things. So you can't go wrong. Just going to cut around that little petal there. Pop a little bit of yellow on there. I'm just sort of building up details slowly, slowly, catchy monkey. Slowly, slowly. I'm going to add a little bit of a lighter green onto the back of that flower there. A bit more yellow in it. Whoops. Like that. I'll figure that out in a minute. Now this petal here is in shadow and it's almost a bluey grey shadow, so I'm going to add a little bit of blue to white and see if I can make shadow like I do in watercolour, just with blue and white. Make a light blue shadow. See? We'll see. And a bit of I'll take that down here. Whoops. I think it's possibly a sugar or chemically close to it. Oh, there you go. Just giving you my free Twitch sub to you. Oh, thank you, Dal. Thank you. Much appreciated. I haven't been on Twitch in a week. It feels like forever. It's only been a week, but it feels like forever. I think it's been a week. It was last Wednesday, I think. It was the last time I was on. I've been focused over here. Okay. So I'm just getting these shadows onto the lights, and then I can pop details in. It's also a humectant, so it draws in moisture. Well, there you go. No idea. I know it feels good. It makes the paint feel good, and it makes it workable, which is really nice. And that's the bit that matters. It's workable and it feels lovely. So yeah, so everyone, if you don't, give some glycerin a try with your, if you do acrylics, give your glycerin a try, because it does seem to makes it water, like that orange is still wet, which is amazing. That one's got blue on it too. So I'm going to add this blue up here. I might pop a few more petals in the background as well, just to help, I think. So unfortunately it's 1:40 AM and I need my bed. No worries, mate. Good night. Thank you for popping in. It was awesome to see you, Dal. It was awesome to see you. Give Mum a hug when she gets up. Have a good sleep. I'm going to get acrylic paint all over my face, because I touch my face when I paint. I'm always touching my face. It doesn't matter with watercolour, but yeah, not so good with acrylic. Oh my God, I did it with oils the other day and ended up with oil up my nose and in my eyes and everywhere. When I did that giraffe. I won't be using oil paints again for a while. That's in shadow at the bottom of the leaf. So I'm still blocking. Speaking of mums, do you know how Aurora's mum is doing after a fall? She's good. She's okay. She had scans. She had scans and she hadn't done any damage, but they were doing heart check on her. But as far as I know, she was okay. From the fall itself, she was fine. She just had to rest for a couple of days. She gave herself a bit of a shock. Bit of a knock to the head. I think she was concussed. She had a bit of concussion. but she's okay now. Take that up there. All right, so I'm actually going to go around the edge of this. Good to hear it was scary. Yeah, I know. It is scary when, especially when, you know, it happens in the background and you're all sort of waiting on tenterhooks thinking, oh my God, is she okay? What happened? It can be a bit terrifying, especially when they're older, because people don't get up so easy. Thank God Aurora was there. Okay, so I'm going to work around the edges of this daffodil and start to get details on. And she's not getting young any longer. Yeah, none of us are anymore, geez. It's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. Doesn't think, yeah, getting up doesn't get any easier. Alright, so this is that orange that I haven't remixed. It's just the same orange. It just re-wet really well with the glycerin. I'm just working it around the edges of this daffodil. Taking it around the edges. I'm almost drawing this. Like, I got a good bruise on my knee when I was a kid. Yeah. Oh. I'm forever getting bruises. I'm always falling over myself. I mean, the day after I had my vaccine, I was walking around and I just lost my footing. I was walking over to the kids' place and they got steps out the front and I just tripped up the steps. And oh, I got a whopping great bruise on my arm. Just because I went down elbows first. Oh, on the edge of a step. Oh, it hurt. It hurt. But it was my own stupid clumsiness. Oh, what have I got too much glycerin in there? Look at that. See what that does. That'll be interesting, actually. I'm still young and my heart leaves my chest when I trip. Yeah, I'm not young. And yeah, I don't bend anymore, can it? I used to bend. I don't bend anymore. My bendy bits have turned into planking bits. Okay, so I'm going to let that one dry. I'm going to see what that does there. I want to see how that acts because I've got that quite wet. So I'm going to go a bit more orange, a bit more red, a bit more. I'm going to actually, I've got to squirt my palette just because my paints on my thingy are wet doesn't mean my ones in my palette are wet. I've got to wet my palette, keep those moist while my palette's open. But yeah, highly recommend the Stay Wet palettes. They're lovely. All right, now supporting my horse's foot while cleaning her hoof, and she pulled back. She got bitten by a horsefly, so her full weight rubbed over my knee. Ow. Yeah, my husband's a farrier, and he quite often gets pulled underneath horses when he's working on their feet. They'll get upset and they just pull back. And one time a horse pulled back and just dragged it straight underneath it, and then proceeded to tread all over him. He's been hurt many times by horses. many times. All right, so I'm starting to get into the detail a little bit now. But yes, horses can be quite dangerous. Especially if there's those flies around. Our horses hate those. They gallop around and around the paddock trying to get away from them. We end up putting body fly veil things on them, fly rugs, to stop them being able to land on them. And you just put insect repellent on their legs. The horse quality stuff. Because over here they're quite bad, the horse flies as well. In summer. All right, so I'm just getting the details onto the bulby bits, the back of the flower. I'm starting to strengthen up and build the colour forward. All right, let's have a look. It's gonna, while that's still a little bit damp, look at that, I can drag it like watercolour. That's interesting. All right, that's only because of this stuff that I'm using. So this is an orange I've mixed with cadmium red and lemon yellow. I'm just going to add some finer lines into these parts down here. And I'll go in with a cadmium yellow, a slightly mid-tone yellow in a minute. All right, probably got a good bruise on my red right side too now to think of it. My friend's young horse nipped because she thought I was too slow counting her vitamin goodies. Oh no. Oh no. Yes, human, you must do things fast at a horse's pace. Humans are too slow for horses. All right, so I'm going to darken up this one. Might take that colour up that bit a bit. She's 3.5. Oh, real baby horsey. Oops, what happened? My camera went. Oh, my camera will be back in a second, hopefully. That means what's going on? Why did that stop? There we go, we're back. My camera decided to stop. She's testing her rank. Yeah, young horses they're hard work. They are hard work, that is for sure. All right, so I'm just working my way around the edges of this one now. I'm just slowly building up. You can see they're starting to, thank goodness they're starting to look like daffodils. I always go through that phase at about a third of the way through thinking, oh my God, this is a mess and it's never going to work. I always hit that phase in a painting. So anyone who's in chat who's just started, it really looks easy when you're watching it, when people do it in time lapse, but don't be fooled. There's a whole process that takes a long time and that does get ugly before it gets better. I find out just about every painting, with the exception of watercolour. Watercolour doesn't seem to hit an ugly phase, but every other painting, medium, hits ugly before it gets good. You sort of go through a, oh God, is it going to work phase. I'm just coming out of the ugly phase, thank God. I hate the ugly phase. It drives me crazy. But every piece goes through it. Where you have doubts, you have lots of seeds of doubt, and you go, oh, is it going to work? And then you're like, oh, it's not going to work. Oh my God, I'm going to have to pin it. Actually, my giraffe hit ugly and never came out the other side. The giraffe painting I did, yeah, that didn't come out the other side of ugly. That just stayed ugly. That went in the bin. But you live and learn. You got to have fails, because that's what you learn from, hey. I'm really impatient when painting, so I'm trying to learn to keep going and get past. Yes, Candid, that's the hardest part. And that's why I love watercolour, because you avoid all of that. But yeah, and you can see like this. That's why I thought I'm going to do this live, because I'm not real great at it, and because it is a slow sort of a grind. It's a bit of a process. And you watch people do it and it looks easy. And it isn't hard, but you've just got to be patient. It's not hard, just patience is what's needed. And I lack patience. It's not my finest point, patience. I've got to learn it. So, yeah. So, yeah, I thought this would be a fun one. If people can put up with me for a couple of hours, because that's what it's going to take. I thought this would be a fun one to stream. So I've got minimal. I'm not good at flowers. I'm learning flowers. Flowers are definitely a learning thing for me. I've got to redefine all of their stems. Same here. That's why I stand on I strand on oil paints all the time. Yes, I'm not. No. That's what I have to say about oil paints. Just no. I love them. I love looking at them. I admire people who use them. No, I'm never doing it. I tried. I know. I definitely am not an oil painter. I love watching people who know how to do it. I admire them, but no. Not my thing. Definitely not my thing. I think I'd just have a breakdown. I couldn't do it. I couldn't wait that long for things to dry. But I love watching. And I get inspired, and then I think for a second I think, yes, I'm inspired, I'll do oil. And then I go, no, don't do it. Oh, it's funny. So I've just mixed up a bit of a light blue again. I've got to go back in and work these stems. These stems are looking ugly. So we're going to unugly the stems because we've unuglied the flowers now. So I've got to unugly the stems. They're looking a bit ugly. Except I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. Okay, mix up another green. So I'm going to go cerulean. And a yellow. A bit more yellow. I actually have ready-made greens, but I'm trying to use the colours that are in my painting. So I've gone cerulean and yellow, and that's actually made like a light sap greeny colour, which is nice. Okay, and I'm going to carefully... Oh, no it's not. That's too strong. That's too strong. I'm going to take that down. It's a bit dark, but that's okay. I can yellow that out. I add more yellow. Add more yellow. Add some more yellow, love. There we go. End up in a mush when I try it. Oh, the Alla Prima, yes. Oh my God, I'd end up, I just had visuals of me putting paint down like that, and I would end up smothered. Everything, the whole house would end up smothered. The neighbours, everyone would be covered in paint. Except my painting. Oh. All right. So I'm just going over these again. I will lighten up one side. I will add highlights and dark bits and all of that. I'm just strengthening them again. And I might add, I think I need a daffodil up the back. I might need a daffy up the back. So at least I can do that with acrylic. Branch coming down there. This brush is probably too fine. It's way too thin. Go to a heavier brush. Silly Billy. Alright, go into a stronger brush. Slightly thicker brush. You can hear Daisy down the end of the hall. She's like, I want to come in, Mum, Nan. Alright. Come down here. Just extend that down a little. Come down here. Yeah, I think I need a bit of something up the top. So I'll just wet this a bit. So where I'd had it sort of with white paint, I'm just going now, I just marked it in with white paint. I'm now going over it with a bit of yellow. And these brushes are very long. I have to sort of wiggle it around to get it under my camera setup. I have to give it a wiggle and a jiggle. I'm actually going to shorten these brushes because they're meant to be held sort of back, and they're meant to be held sort of back, and I hold them down. You shouldn't. Bad habit, but that's how I work. Am I going to do another daff? 1, 2, 3. I've got an odd number. I should leave it an odd number. Each daffodil looks nice, but the one in the bottom in the middle is especially beautiful. That one has worked really well. Yes, I agree. It has worked very well. Thank you, Dale. It's a process. It's all a slow process. So now while that's still wet, I'm going to take a little bit of that pure white, get a bit of pure white on my brush, dip it into me glycerin, take that down this back edge of these little stems so they're not flat looking. There's nothing worse than just a solid green stripe. Alright, that's not bad. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Come down here. Get a bit more white. And I've got two lots of white out. One that I can get a little bit dirty, and one that I'm supposed to, in theory, keep it clean so it just stays as a pure white, which I haven't managed to do, in all honesty. It has got a little bit of goop on it, so I have managed to touch different colours into both my whites because I'm clever like that. It's a superpower. It is a superpower, that's for sure. Just gonna come down the back of this stem, and you can see I'm sort of patting it, like just dob point, like, I don't know what you'd say that, like pointing the brush just to get a little softer, like it's not just a straight, I'm keeping a straight line, but oh, I've got that into the wrong spot and I can't pick it up like watercolour, or can I? Oh no, that didn't work either, did it? Okay, let's not do that, let's just do that. Okay, I can pick it up like watercolour. There you go. There you go. I'm learning. It's going to come down there. There we go. That's better. Come down this side. Just with the very tip of my brush. The very tip. And I'm not pressing hard, I'm just touching the paper very, very gently, catchy monkey. As my dad used to say, slowly, catchy monkey. All right, let's have a look now. Get a bit more white pigment on my brush. Take that down that side. I could add different colours in here if I wanted. Just trying to, I'm sort of thinking on the fly, thinking what do I do? What can I do? I did need the darker colour as a contrast behind. I wheel myself back every now and then just to get a look at it from a distance. Oops. Oops, no, that didn't work either. Okay, come down here. There we go. It's a little bit. Still looks quite rough, like to give it time. All right. Probably because I am in, that hasn't dried. That's amazing. Look at that. That has not dried in there. I'm going to lift that out. That didn't dry. And it comes straight off. Well, that's what happens if you use too much of that other stuff. I might pop another daffodil. I think I might. I might pop it in here. I reckon. I think I could do with one over there. It's looking better. It is looking better. Still not how I want it, but better. All right, I'm going to do another daffodil. So I'm just going to paint it in white. I'm just going to block it in white because they're an easy shape. They're just a bell. They're just like that. That's all they are. There's nothing to them at all. Just like that. Oh, you can't even see it because I've got my head in the way. Hang on. Can I get rid of my head? I'm going to get rid of my head, Pete, so you can see the picture. Where's my camera? Oh, shit. How do I make the camera go away? I don't know how to make the camera go away. There's the mic. Oh, hang on. Display capture. No, that didn't work. Video capture. There we go. Now you don't have my head in the way. But I'll just block in the flower like that. And just block it in white. I'll have to go quite thickly, I think, because of the green. Because the green is quite strong. And I picked these because they were quite a simple subject. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying too many hard things. I say. And because I'm reasonably new to flowers, I thought I'll do something that I know I can do. All right. Do I need another couple? Okay, so that's fine. And I've got to add a couple of petals off the sides because they've got petals about the middle, like that. Like that. So you don't even, I drew it in, but you don't have to. You can just paint it in and keep your shapes sort of simple, like that. All right, and then I am going, probably need another one here. Do I need another one here? I might add another one there, just because I can. I'm going to put one right here on this sort of an angle. Block it in. Block it in. And I'm just going to follow the shape. And I'll add the detail in a minute. Just block it all back in with white. Like that. I'll pop a petal up here. Like that. Pop a petal there like that, coming over that one. One coming around there. All right. Just working it back in. And then one disappearing off around there. Alright, so they're blocked in. That's two more daffodils blocked in onto that right hand side. I think daffodils and lily of the valley are relatively easy to paint dry. Yes. Yeah, I think they're probably the easiest of the bunch. I would have to agree with you there. I have done lilies. I can't remember what medium I did them in. I did do them, but I can't remember what medium I did them in. Whether it was, I think it was squash maybe. I can't remember. It was so last month. I actually don't know. All right. So I'm just blocking in a little bit of yellow. So this is not the same as the picture on the front, on the reference. Snowdrops are not too bad either. And tulips. Yeah, I thought about tulips today. I thought I nearly was going to do tulips. And then I thought, nah, stick with your daffodils. I really like this picture. I need to let it dry a little bit. I do. I need to let it dry a little. And it's going to look way better when I take the edges off. So I'm going to mix up some more orange, red, yellow. Red and yellow, a little bit of glycerin, not too much. And I'm going to take that onto this one. Says she who just said I need to wait. Oh no. And I'm going to make that one the inside of the flower there. So that comes around like that, bajaggedy, bajaggedy, bajaggedy. And then around that outer edge, I'll need a finer brush, get the finer brush. Put some more orange on my brush. Take that around that outer edge. Same on this one. Going to make that the lip with the edge of the flower around there. Bit more yellow to it. Like that. Okay, so we've sort of got the bell shapes-ish of those new two flowers. I've got to still got to let it dry. It's still too wet. So I'll go back to these other ones. And I'm going to add a bit of a lighter green to my greens. Bit of a vibrant sort of a green. Just to add a little bit of interest in there. Down here with that light green, and this is, what is this? This green is Australian sap green. Is it Australian sap green or light green? It's Australian sap. Oh no, it's light green. It's light green. So just take that down there like that. Get a bit of glycerin. Come down the edge of that daffodil. Because it's looking a bit muddy looking. That bright green's a great touch. Yeah, it just lifts things a little bit. It's looking a bit muddy, a bit heavy. And that's the beauty of this too, is you can change things. I'm actually excited to do a seascape. I've done acrylics over the years. I did a seascape. I don't know where it is. It's gone. I used to sit up on my cabinet. And I really got the waves happening. I was really happy with the waves because you can get all the colours. So yeah, I'm excited to try another seascape with acrylic. That might be tomorrow. We might do that tomorrow. We'll see how we go. Oh no, tomorrow I'm doing Draw Some with Aurora. We're doing a live stream on here together. So that should be fun. Tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I think it's like 8:30 p.m. American time. But Aurora and I will be live together for Drawsome, because we're doing it live on YouTube from now on. So that'll be fun. And tomorrow's prompt is books, so it'll be a still life for me. A book still life. All right, now these branches go off in all directions. I've just realised, because that one comes down there, one goes behind there and down there. I probably should have left the background paper white, but I felt the flowers needed contrast. But you live and learn. You do live and learn. I'm going to go back in again, because the beauty of acrylic, you can go over the top if you're not happy with something. But that is looking a bit better. A bit better-ish. And this is almost what you say is a rigger of this brush. It's very thin, but it gets these lines for me nice. Come down on that side of that branch, stem, come up here. And I've missed come down onto there like that. All right, come up here. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. That sort of softened things up a little bit. Are they dry? No, they don't even look dry. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to mix up some more orange. I'm going to clean my palette a little bit, because there's just goops everywhere. I'm excited to take the tape off the edges at the end of this one, because it really does make a difference too. When you take the tape off, it brings it to life. All right, and that'll look okay once it's like, if I framed that, I'd have a white frame and a colour of the petals card. All right, so mix up some orange, red, yellow, bit of red, tiny little bit of red, much more yellow than red. A nice orange colour. I can start to strengthen. That's not working. Why is that not working? Okay, I've got to get the middle size. Have I got a middle size one? Middle size, hang on, it's got a C. That's a size. What size are you? You're a 2. You're a, what are you? I don't know, what size brush are you? Can't even see what size brush that is. Where's the number? It's a 3. Oh, it's bigger. Okay. Okay, I'll stay with this one. And I'll that. Got to strengthen up the yellow on that one too. So I'm just going in. I shouldn't be going into the shadows first, but I am. Just shadow that. No, I need my yellow. I'll clean my brush, clean water. Grab some pure yellow. go over the top. Because my yellow is nowhere near bright and vibrant enough, and that's because I've got the white of the paper underneath. So I'm going to go quite thick, because I've used the white of the paper to help me get the bright, but that's okay. It'll be right once I can go over it a bit. It'll take a little bit of work, but we'll get there. But it did need these couple of extra flowers, I think. Build that up a bit. Getting better, getting better. Slowly, slowly. Might actually go over all of that. On the inside of there again with the yellow. And the inside of this one. Change the shape of it a little bit, I think. Make it a bit more jaggedy. We're going to change the shape of that one. But that's a bit better anyway with the yellow. It's a bit stronger with the yellow. And then I'll just redraw in that other bit. Got to grab that blue, that pale blue again. It's a bit of blue, bit of white. Blue, bit of white. A very pale shadow colour. Now which one was that? That one. It looked very bright. It needs a bit more shadow colour under here. Just in there. Just to... and onto the tip a little bit. That's a very pale blue. And onto there. Righto. We're getting there, we're getting there. Slowly, slowly. I'm going to use that same pale blue. Pale blue. Into the shadow areas again. I might add a bit more white to that bit there actually. Just under here. Got to go, but thank you. Thank you. You have a great day too, mate. Thank you for popping in, Candid. Thank you for popping in, Dale. It was awesome to see you. It's always lovely to see you. Have a great night. Whatever you're doing, enjoy. And thank you for hanging out for a little bit, Dale. All right. We're getting there. Slowly, slowly. I'm going to try and... ooh, sort of cut shape of the new daffodil. I'm just thinking how I'm going to do it. I want to change the shape of that top one a little bit too. I'm going to make that one come up a bit more. Got to let it dry a little bit. Just drag that down there. Just want to blur out that line a little bit. And then I'll tidy that up. All right. Get that leaf, that petal. Make it a bit whiter because I've still got the green from the background showing through. And that one too. So I can just add a little bit more thickness of pigment. Like that. I mean, it's an impression too. It's not photographic by any means. I'm not a photographic artist. I would love to be, but I'm not a photorealist. I do, and no matter what I do, I always tend to go in. I always end up turning things impressionistic looking. All right. I'm not minding that. I'm not minding it. It's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. So it's not bad. Not bad is good. In Jennyville, not bad is good. So I'm happy with that. I actually don't mind that leaf like that. I might just leave that. I may just leave that. Okay, good, good. It's going to daub up. That's still a little bit wet there. Oh, no, it's not. That's weird. Okay. It's acting strange. Okay, so these other two are coming together. I'm going to go onto this one. It needs a little bit of that orange. Very finely. Oops. Maybe not that finely. Bit of red, bit of yellow, bit more yellow. And just take that around that edge of that daffodil. Just cutting around the jagged bits like that. I like that. And then I'm going to strengthen up the under shadow coming down here like that. Not a lot, just enough to help to do that. Right, I'm going to go back onto this one on this end. Strengthen up just a couple of the edges. Like that. And there's also a bit more yellow in there. All right. Bit more white on this side. Just a teeniest little bit. Blend that down a little bit. And a little bit pale yellow and white. So it's white with yellow, it's not pure white. It's white with a touch of yellow. And into here. Just use the teeniest, tiniest blob of yellow in there. Just to tone down that white just a little bit. To put that on there. Right, leave that alone, I think. Now I've got to get onto this middle one. He needs a bit more defining in here. Like that. And then I want to get like I need a cadmium yellow. That's way too wet still over there. My brush is very thin. So, but I want to keep it thin to get the details on. I'm going to leave that one there alone because I'm quite happy with that one. Pop some more detail on this one. Cut around that leaf, that petal a bit more. That's up the top of it. That helped that a little bit. We're sort of getting into the finer detail now, just the Right, I've got to wait till, I've got to be patient. I've got to wait till those dry a little bit. I can work on their petals a little bit more. Actually, ooh, I've got a bit of yellow on there. Whoops. Well, it doesn't matter because it sort of reflects the colour on the plants anyway, doesn't it? So that works. We'll do that anyway. We will. We're going to add a little bit of that yellowy white in there. Tidy up. That edge is messy. I'm going to go around that edge with a bit of green. I've got to tidy that edge up. That's just ugly. Right there. There we go. That's better. Just recut that edge with a bit of green. Just to straighten it up. Make it look less bleh. There we go. Alright, now I can go in with some blues. Some light blue and white. Into this part of this petal. Coming off the side of that daffodil. Pop a little bit of light blue coming off this part. And off here. Like that. This quite blue, isn't it? I think I've got a bit more blue than white in that one, but that's okay. Come down the underside of that petal there. Oops. Let's have a look. I am just going to be a bit sneaky and see if I can just sponge a little bit of that. It's nearly dry. Just going to touch up that bit where I just messed it. Come around that edge a little bit. Tidy that up. I just want to change the shape, a fraction of that bellflower maybe. I think I'm going to change the shape. It needs to come in a bit. It needs to go more like that. Be less flat looking. They do have a very bell shape end. Beautiful bell shape end, in fact. So I'll just change the shape of that one a little bit. But I can do that by going around with the background colour a little bit more, like that. That gives it a bit more bell shape. There we go. Nice. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It's going to go a bit stronger with that background colour. Like that. And just take that shape in a little bit. I'll leave that side. Clean my brush and just drag that out a little bit, soften it. Just like that. Just like I would with watercolour. Well, there you go. There's a technique that I just taught myself accidentally through needing to change a shape of something. I just cut around the outside with the background colour again. There you go. Because I just wanted to change the shape of that flower again, those two flowers. Because I sort of roughly painted them in. I'd drawn the rest of them in, but I didn't draw those two in. I just added them at the last second because I thought, oh no, I need to do more. As you do. All right. Let's have a look. What next, what next, what next? I'm going to go back in with that orange. I'm going to mix up some more orange. Red. Yellow. Glycerin. There we go. Now I'm going to add that just around that where I've changed the shape, like that. Beautiful, I'm happy with that. And around here. Cut around there. Make that a bit rougher. Alright, and this one too. Make it a rough shape because they're not smooth like that. All right, now they're starting to look like daffodils. Woohoo! They are beautiful flowers. They're quite lovely. Whoop! And I got splashed everything everywhere then. As you do. Alright, let's have a look. Might go over that a little bit more. A bit more paler blue. It's a bit too strong, that blue. A little bit too strong. So I'll go make it a bit paler. There we go. Just knocked it back a little tiny bit. Alright, now I'm going to go in. Glass palettes are wonderful too. I'm using a glass palette. They're really, really good to clean. And I can use my watercolours or my acrylics on it. I'm going to lighten up that side. Going with the pale yellow and white mix. Up to that side. Come on, go on. There we go. I'll wet me white a bit more. Re-wet me palette. A bit of spritz. Got my water bottle, a little squirty bottle sitting next to me. It's very handy. That helped. Just to re-wet that highlighted side. Re-highlight that highlighted side even. Alright. It's going to soften that. It's sort of like a highlight down on that bottom edge down there. Well, there is now anyway, because I decided. Put that on there, on that bottom of that one, just sort of helps. All right, let's have a look. Righto. Stand back and have a look. It doesn't look too bad. Just trying to think of, I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot more because it's sort of, for a first acrylic in a long while, it's not bad. It's not bad. It could be a lot better, but it's not bad. I'm going to go back into my pure yellow. I stepped out for a while. What a difference. It does make a difference, doesn't it? I don't know if I'm going to do a whole lot more. Like, it's very impressionisty and it's very loose, but you know what, for a first attempt in a while, I'm quite happy. Quite happy, I think. I just needed a little bit of time and patience. Going to soften that up. I'm going to cut around the bottom of that one with the green in the background green. I need to get the jagged edge back on that. I've lost the jagged edge. So I'm going in with background colour to try and just rough up that bottom edge a bit. Like that. I taught myself a new technique, Zark, cutting around the edge with the background colour. I've never done that before. So that's worked out really well. When you want to tidy up or change edges, and I've got to get rid of that. That's a big blob right there. Spread it out. Change the shape of stuff a little bit. And that dries back quite pale. That's how I paint acrylics all the time. I never knew that. I didn't know. I'm learning these things. That's funny. I was like, how on earth do I fix that? Because I don't want to keep adding light to it because it just wasn't going to work. Make a mess and clean it up. Yeah, see? Go team. Making a mess and cleaning it up. Totally. Go team. Oops, I've got too much paint on the end of my brush. That'll dry back a slightly lighter colour anyway. I'm just going to jagged that. There we go. Might leave that like that. It's a bit better. Soften that out. There we go. Okay. After a few hours, it is as I want. Yes! Well, this has taken, it's nearly 2 hours to get to this point. You know, I need to sit back and have a look, but I reckon as far as it goes, like for a first impressionisty look, oh, got a big gloop. Impressionisty thought sort of a, it looks like daffodils. I can't complain. It looks like daffodils, so my world is happy. As long as that's what it looked like. I'd be really upset if it didn't look like daffodils. But I'm pretty sure it looks like daffodils, so I'm a happy camper. It'd be doing it hard to think it doesn't look like them. I actually do have to add a little bit of a pop of yellow more down on the stems. They need a little pop. They need little pops around here and there. Just here and there, not everywhere. Just in a few little spots. Stops it looking so flat. Quick look at the big screen. Because I'm looking. I look up at the big screen to be able to give myself. I forgot I turned off my face cam so like you could see the whole picture. But yeah, I keep looking up at the big camera, the big screen, to give myself distance from it, because it's good to stand back. All right, I think I'm happy with that, you know. I think I'm going to leave that alone. I think I'm going to leave it alone now because I've fiddled and diddled and done all the things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign it. I'm going to sign it and call it done. And then I'm going to sign it with the light green, I reckon. Sign it with me light green down here. That's not going to work. You're not going to see it. Maybe I'll sign it with, what am I going to sign it with? I don't know. I won't sign it yet. I'll sign it later. I can't think of what colour to sign it with. I might sign it with a white pen later. But we're going to take the tape off because that's the fun bit and see how it looks. Nudie Rudy. Without its tape on. I like it. It always looks so much better once you take the tape off the edge. Oh my goodness, I'm happy with that. There you go. Look at that. Woohoo! We have a completed little daffodils. My first acrylic in an awfully long time. So what do you reckon? That was a bit of fun, guys. Thank you for hanging out, Zarg and Candid and everyone who's been here. It's so wild with that. I love tape peeling. Yes, and God, how much better does that look? Like that really looks, it just doesn't, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. It makes it so much better. So much better. So I'm rather happy now. That's worked out well. Yay, go team. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with Aurora because tomorrow's Aurora and I are doing Drawsome together and we're streaming it together. So I will see you all tomorrow and I might do another acrylic, I reckon. I'm feeling me acrylics. I'm getting me acrylic on. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Zarg. It is always wonderful hanging out with you, my friend. And everyone else who's been here, you guys and girls are a world of awesomeness. And I will see you tomorrow for the next video. Have a great day, guys. And take care. Love to you all. Give your families a big hug. See if I can stay awake that long. Cool.